What's up, everyone? Jeff from Retro Arcade Gaming on YouTube, back with what has probably been my most difficult port battle to date. Not because the game itself is tough, or because there's an overwhelming number of ports, but because there really isn't a stellar port of this arcade game anywhere. From missing levels to terrible controls, most versions have issues. We'll get into that shortly. So what game has me so utterly frustrated? It's none other than Sega's 1983 isometric game Congo Bongo, known as Tip Top in Japan. Many people compare it to Donkey Kong, and while that comparison makes sense and is fair, it also shares similarities with Frogger, Pitfall, and even Zaxxon, the latter mostly due to the similar isometric perspective. Interestingly enough, both Donkey Kong and Congo Bongo were programmed in part by the same subcontractor, Ikegami Tsushinki, a company used by both Nintendo and Sega at the time. Don't believe it? Look closely at the scoring and timer areas in both games. They're almost identical. Congo Bongo is comprised of 4 levels. Level 1 is Primate Peak, where you must climb cliffs and dodge the coconuts that Bongo throws from above, all while dealing with monkeys that jump onto your back and try to drag you off the mountain. Snake Lake is level 2, where you must cross a swamp using the backs of hippos while avoiding snakes and scorpions. Rhino Ridge is level 3, where you must jump and weave your way around charging rhinos using holes in the ground as cover if necessary. And finally, another swamp stage makes up level 4, the Lazy Lagoon, where you navigate via lily pads, fish, and hippos, then avoid rhinos and make your way to Bongo at the top. After those 4 levels, the game loops with increased difficulty. Here's a quick look at the arcade original via MAME. Sega released a port for the Apple II in 1984, and this is where the frustration began. I was actually surprised at how good this port looks. It's better than I expected, but the gameplay is rough. Controls on both the joystick and keyboard are awful, The hit detection is terrible, and the game seems to want to fight you constantly. I believe it includes at least 3 levels, maybe all 4. To be honest, I didn't have the patience to find out. I spent far too long just trying to get through the damn first level. Sega also released a port for the Atari 2600 in 1983. I'm gonna go easy on this one. The sound effects honestly aren't too bad, and graphically, I guess it tries to capture the look of Congo Bongo, even if it does fall short. At least the controls work without making me want to snap a joystick in half. Unfortunately, only 2 of the 4 arcade levels are included, so replay value is limited. Sega released a port for the Atari 5200 in 1983. The port doesn't look terrible, though it's blocky and pixelated with limited detail. Sounds are decent. The real problem is the controls. The joystick only recognizes up, down, left, and right in this port. There are no diagonals. That means making awkward micro adjustments to position your jumps. It just feels clunky, unnatural, and really detracts from the gameplay. The Atari 8-bit got a port in 1983, again from Sega. This version is visually similar to the 5200 release, but the graphics are slightly better, and the controls allow for diagonal movement, which helps a lot. Again, it only has 2 of the 4 arcade levels, so the experience is still somewhat limited. Coleco released their own port for the ColecoVision and Coleco Atom in 1984. The ports are identical for both systems, unlike some Atom titles that take advantage of its unique hardware. This is one of the better ports we'll look at. It sounds decent, though not arcade perfect. It looks good, and the controls are solid with smooth gameplay. It does include 3 of the 4 arcade levels, eliminating the second level, Snake Lake. Two versions were released for the Commodore 64. A cartridge release in 1983 from Sega, which again only includes 2 levels, the arcade's first and fourth. Sounds are okay, graphics are really underwhelming for a Commodore 64 game, but at least the controls work fairly well. US Gold released a disc-based version in 1985. This one does include all 4 arcade levels. It's actually a pretty solid port. There are some questionable graphic choices, especially the main character, but overall it's a much more improved version of the game than that which they got on the cartridge version. Sounds are decent, gameplay is much smoother. We jump right back into frustration with the 1984 Sega port for MS-DOS. Graphically, it actually looks okay for an early DOS release. Sounds are typical from the PC speaker, but the controls are a disaster. Unresponsive, inconsistent, completely unpredictable. I have no idea how many levels this port actually includes because I could barely get through the first one. I consider myself a fairly competent gamer. This port had me angry. I believe it includes all 4 levels. I have no idea. If you have the patience to find out, more power to you. Sega released a port for the Intellivision in 1983. Graphics are blocky and pixelated, sound is decent, it's simple but not distracting. The controls work pretty well and overall the experience isn't bad. But again, once again, only 2 of the 4 arcade levels are included. The MSX got a port from Sega in 1983, and on the surface, this one looks okay, though the Explorer's put on some weight, and everything is extremely blocky. Animations are choppy, especially climbing and jumping. It just becomes distracting real fast. I sound like a broken record, but you only get 2 of the 4 arcade levels, and the game has really limited replay value. Sega took a unique approach for their 1983 release for their own SG-1000. Again, only 2 of the 4 levels are present, but they are different than most ports. Instead of levels 1 and 4, this version includes level 1 and 2. Also, the isometric perspective is completely abandoned. Level 1 plays like a standard platformer. Level 2, top-down, almost similar to like a Frogger type of game. It looks nice, sounds nice, but it's definitely a major departure from the arcade original. The Texas Instruments TI-99-4A got a Sega port in 1983. Graphically and sonically, this one isn't bad, but like some of the other ports, there's no diagonal movement, which makes jumping tricky and unpredictable. The first level is missing the monkeys that normally latch onto you, so the only real challenge is avoiding coconuts and making jumps. Again, only 2 of 4 levels are included. Wrapping up the Sega ports. The VIC-20 got one in 1983, where our Explorer has basically been reduced to a stick figure. And while there are the monkeys, they don't actually bother you. Animation is stiff, especially during the precise jumps needed on level 2. Those jumps are almost impossible to pull off. And like many other ports, once again, only 2 of the 4 arcade levels are included. So there has to be a decent port of Congo Bongo, you say to yourself. Well, there are, but they come in unexpected places. You can play Congo Bongo on the PlayStation 3 if you really want to. It's an unlockable bonus in Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. Why? I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. To unlock it, you need to beat the first round of Streets of Rage with all 3 characters. It's emulated arcade Congo Bongo, and it plays exactly as you'd expect. Congo Bongo is also unlockable on the PlayStation Portable via the Sega Genesis Collection. Again, I have no idea why. To unlock it, you need to get the Chaos Emerald in Sonic the Hedgehog. Similar to the unlockable on the PlayStation 3, it's straight up emulation of the arcade game, looks and sounds perfect. Finally, an enhanced, or maybe a better term is reimagined version appears on the PlayStation 2 as part of the Japanese-only Sega Ages Collection 2500 Series Volume 23. It shares some visual elements with the arcade original, like climbing a mountain, avoiding monkeys and scorpions, but the gameplay is completely different. You collect treasures, and then you have to find your way out of each stage. I didn't play long enough. I think I played 3 stages to see if the gameplay varies at all after that. That wraps up our look at the many, sometimes painful, ports of Congo Bongo. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate the support. If you enjoy the content on this channel, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, happy gaming. Peace.